Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram welcoming you to your Sunday edition of Cricket Happenings. And what I have for you in store is pretty exciting at that. Bangladesh coming from behind to stun India in the first one day international by one wicket, staging a record 10th wicket partnership of 51. Mehdi and Miraj was a hero of that particular match. Everything seemed like Bangladesh had already, it was all over. It was probably a foregone conclusion that India was going to win the match, but Mehdi and Miraj showed his batting skills in full measure. And he also got good company from the number 11 batsman, Mustafizur Rahman, to guide Bangladesh to a one wicket win over India in the first one day international to take a lead in the one ODI series. Australia, it was expected once Brathwaite was gone, it was all over. But Nathan Lyon on a pitch, even though it was the fifth day pitch, but it was not doing anything out of the ordinary. It was still playing, probably a bit of rough created. But other than that, I thought Nathan Lyon definitely extracting some life out of a pitch which was not really assisting the bowlers, went and picked up a six-wicket bag for himself, thus going past Ravichandran Ashwin as the eighth bowler, I reckon. And also England Pakistan is absolutely set up thanks to and as I very rightly said yesterday, the Pakistan prolonged their innings with Aga Salman playing a good knock, making a very quick 50. And after that, it was again, as I said, it was a spanking of the England batsman. Joe Root 73 also showed some glimpses of his left-handed batting as well. But Harry Brook, as I said, he's the person who is really doing something big here. And Harry Brook once again showed what an effortless cricketer he is, as once again he smashed 87 runs to enable Ben Stokes to go and declare the innings closed and thus set the Pakistanis a total let me look at the total here. Yes, they were set a total of 343 runs to win, and Pakistan were 80 for 2 at close of play on the fourth day. So now the match is really set. This is again still a pitch which does not have any life, but definitely, Ben Stokes, as I expected, has thrown up the challenge to Pakistan to go there on the final day with 8 wickets in their bag to go and hit those. So it is going to be very interesting, according to me, because Pakistan, I'm sure they will try to get to because they know there is not much life in the pitch and they can do it. So Pakistan will go for it, but England are not going to be far behind. They are going to do whatever they can to come and win this match against Pakistan. So definitely all the results are possible tomorrow. And I think we are in for some great cricket coming up on the final day at the Rawalpindi Cricket Ground in Pakistan. So that is as far as that is concerned. But first, let us head towards Australia, West Indies. And it was, I wouldn't say it's a mere formality, because yesterday when I spoke to you on my Saturday show, I said that Craig Brathwaite would be the key. Now, Craig Brathwaite did not last long. He made only 110. But Nathan Lyon, the bowler of the day yesterday, picked up the wicket. And that was a big wicket that picked up. And what a delivery, a real, a sort of a what do you call a real break back ball from Nathan Lyon, and it was Craig Brathwaite who was playing forward, and the ball gripped and spun, and that was it. Took the bottom edge and hit the off stump. Brathwaite was gone for 110, and once Brathwaite was gone, they know that. But as you know, Kyle Mayers also was out to a soft dismissal, caught my big ball line for 10. And after that, Holder left to the bowling of Head for 3. And then Joshua De Silva fell to Hazelwood for 12. And suddenly, this West Indian innings looked really ragged at 233 for 7. But what a partnership there from these two blokes. Roston Chase, the all-rounder, Alzari Joseph, the lower order, showing his batting skills there. We know Alzari Joseph is someone who can tonk the ball, and also he has done it against New Zealand, if you remember, and definitely he did a good job. That was a good, nice little partnership that happened, adding 80 odd runs, but definitely keeping Australia at bay, which was a good thing to do. Roston Chase contribution being 55, 3 4s, 1 6, and Alzari Joseph hit 3 6s and 4 boundaries. And some of his boundaries that he hit was of the full meat of the bat, and that was really good to see. They're perfect cricketing strokes, as Alzari Joseph was out to an innocuous delivery from Travis Head. He made 43, 4 4s, 3 6s, and finally it was all over as Nathan Lyon picked up a 6 wicket bag, and the West Indians were bowled out for 333, resulting in a 164-run victory for Australia in the first Test match. So the attention now shifts back on Thursday in just 4 days' time, 3 days' time. The attention will shift to the pink ball day-night cricket, which starts at the Adelaide Oval between Australia and West Indies in the second Test match. Looking at the bowling, Stark 1 for 65, 1 for 52, but look at the bowling figures from the veteran Australian spinner Nathan Lyon. 42.5 overs, 10 maidens, 128 runs on 6 wickets. And as I said, he went past Ravichandran Ashwin. It's wicket taking, I suppose, the number of wickets, and that really put him ahead of Ashwin now in the world cricket as far as spinners were concerned. 2 for 25 for Travis Head with his spinners as well. So that was as far as Australia versus West Indies was concerned. But definitely, one thought that West Indies could have put up a much better performance than what they did, especially losing Kyle Mayers and Brathwaite did not help matters at all. And Jason Holder failing with the bat, that was another one. The Joshua De Silva could not do much. If they had stayed there with Roston Chase and Alzari Joseph playing in the way that they did yesterday, I think West Indies probably would have not given a scare to Australia, but definitely they would have probably tried to save the match here. Nevertheless, it's all over. So as I said, we will the Pakistan, Australia, and West Indies will meet once again on Thursday at the Adelaide Oval in the pink ball day-night game. So let's go to the next match. Now we are talking about India versus Bangladesh. As you know, India are in Bangladesh. The top players, not all the top players are playing, but a few of the top players are playing. Kohli is back in action. Rohit Sharma is back in action, so that is good. But let me tell you the tale here as to how it unfolded at Mirpur. And this was it's a 3-match series, and India played the first ODI today of their tour in Mirpur. And what a victory for Bangladesh. That man, Mehdi Hasan Miraj, just wanting to go back and then come back to the real match. It was Bangladesh chasing a very, very small total, not a very easy pitch to bat on. We can say that the pitch was not really easy to bat on. So full credit to Mehdi Hasan Miraj's knock. And the reason I say that, the Indians were bowled out for 186. There was a strong batting lineup, bowled out for 186. And the Bangladeshis were absolutely dusted. 136 for 9 in the 40th over. It's an Indian bowlers that really staged a nice fight there. But after that, who would have imagined that after 46 overs, the Bangladeshis would have, got through the finishing line with a score of 187 for 9, with Mehdi Hasan Miraj, the all-rounder, who had an unbeaten 38 to his name of 39 balls, 4 4s and 2 6s. Well, we can talk about the knock, but what about the 10th wicket partnership? Now, this is what is the main thing. It's a 51-run unbeaten partnership. He had only the 11th man, Mustafizur Rahman, for company. And we also have to credit Mustafizur Rahman for actually staying there with the batsman Mehdi Hasan Miraj. And another good thing about Mehdi Hasan Miraj was he saw to it that Mustafizur Rahman did not play a lot of balls. That any batsman would have done it. But again, to still shield Mustafizur Rahman, that was a good thing. Mustafizur Rahman's not out on 10 of 11 deliveries, 2 boundaries. But Marius and Miraz, what a knock from him. Definitely taking the game away from India. And not only that, India also had to be very, very sorry for the very, very sloppy fielding that they did. First, it was KL Rahul running behind a ball that Marius and Miraz had actually skied it. He ran behind the ball all the way down to deep backward square leg when there was already a fielder who was behind it. And, KL Rahul, with his skipping gloves, dropped the catch. After that, sloppy fielding, Washington Sundar not approaching the ball when the ball was just dipping into the air. And Rohit Sharma, the captain, definitely was not happy with Washington Sundar, who did not approach the ball, which was quite silly according to me. And then we also had sloppy ground fielding there, even though Washington Sundar did well to stop the ball, but he could not stop the boundary. So definitely it all got down to sloppy fielding, overthrows, the pressure building on India when Marius and Miraz turned on the pressure on the Indians. Now let's have a look at the card here from the Indians. As I said, it was not an easy pitch to bat on. There was a movement for the bowlers and the spinners especially. And that was not done. So it was all an effort of Shakib Al Hasan, the spinner, actually picking up a 5-wicket bag. What a bowling spell from him. 10 overs, 2 maidens, 36 runs and 5 wickets for Shakib Al Hasan. And then Abadat Hussain, the tall bowler, 8.2 overs, no maiden, 47 runs and 4 wickets. These were the bowlers who actually cleaned up the Indians for 186, with 1 wicket going to Marius and Miraz for his spin. 9 overs, 1 maiden, 143. Hassan Mahmood, 7 overs, 1 minute, and 40. And Mustafizur Rahman, a picture of economy, 7 overs, 1 minute, and none for 19. Now let's have a look at the Indian card. As I said, the Indians, after their tour it was, right now they just completed one particular tour, as we all know, and where the big players were not there after the World Cup. But as far as this particular tour is concerned, all the big names are there. Rohit Sharma, Kohli, all the big names. Not all the big names, but the bowlers, Bumrah is not there. But still, with all these big names, one would have expected a much better batting performance from the Indians. 186 all out, India. And also, Rohit Sharma in his post-match press conference alluded to the fact that he should not be, alluded to the fact that this particular pitch is not something which is new to India. It is something which Indians have already seen. They have been born and bred on such pitches where the ball turns. And if one could not do it here, this is something that they are not the ones. That is not something which is acceptable, which I definitely agree with Rohit Sharma. So let's have a look at the card there from the Indians. Indians 186 all out. Does not make any happy reading. Rohit Sharma played a few good strokes. We got for 27 of 31 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. Dhawan making 7 of 17, 1 boundary. Kohli was taken magnificently by Liton Das at short extra cover, absolutely flying to take the catch of the bowling of Shakib Al Hasan. That is an absolute stunner from Liton Das. Absolutely flew in the air to pick up the catch. He just plucked it out of a thin air, as one would call it. And then we had Shreyas Iyer making a good 24 of 39, 2 boundaries. But KL Rahul was the one who held the innings together and played an innings of note for India to see to it that India ended up with some sort of score to defend, which was 186, 73 of 70 balls. So definitely a good effort by KL Rahul under the circumstances, considering how the pitch was playing. 73 of 70 deliveries, which included 5 fours and 4 sixes. 19 to Sundar, Shahbaz Ahmed not traveled to 186 all out. And then it was the turn of Bangladesh. And looking at the pitch, one probably, it's not that Indians would have not been given a chance, but definitely 186 was something one thought that Bangladesh would do it pretty easily, because they have good knowledge of their own home conditions. It was not to be. The Indian bowlers coming to the fore, especially Mohammad Siraj bowling a good spell. in tandem with Kuldeep Sen, who initially did not bowl well, was making his debut today, but then he figured in the wickets column. Deepak Chahar, Washington Sundar throttling them with his spinners, with his off spin. And looking at the card from Bangladesh, Shanto was out for naught, so that was a great start for India. The very first delivery, Shanto was a victim. Najmul Hussain Shanto was a victim of the bowling of Deepak Chahar. Liton Das, who has always been a nemesis for India, but he played a very good innings of 41 of 63, 3 fours and 1 6, being a victim of Sundar. Anamul Haq, good to see him back into the Bangladesh colours, 14 of 29, 2 boundaries. Siraj picking up his wicket. Shakib al Hassan was another, as you know, Liton Das picked up a stunner. Now, this was brilliance from Kohli, as once again, it was the ball was a bit short, and Kohli at extra cover, leaping, picking up an one-handed stunner in the way Liton Das did it for him. Mushfiqur Rahim, so as I said, a lot of big names were there, and they were looking good. If you look at the scorecard there, they were 95 for 4 when Shakib al Hasan departed, and after that, the rot started. 128 for 4, and after that, 5 wickets were lost in a space of just 20 odd runs, which really put them into a mighty hole from which Mehdi and Miraz extricated the Bangladeshi team. Mahmudullah was out for 14, Afif 6, not, Hassan Mahmood not, and then this grand saving done by Mehdi and Miraz, taking them to victory, not out of 38 of 39, 4 fours and 2 sixes. Mustafizur Rahman giving good company. And looking at the bowling, as I said, Indians' sloppy fielding was something which really contributed to their defeat here. And looking at the bowling here, Chahar 1 for 32, Siraj 3 for 32, bowled line-heartedly. Kuldeep Sen 2 for 37 was pretty costly. 9 overs done for 39 for Shahbaz Ahmed, 2 for 17 for Washington Sundar. And Shardul Thakur had some very good bowling analysis. 9 overs on maiden, 1 for 21. Now, let's go on to the England versus Pakistan game. As I said, is nicely set up. As I said yesterday, that's what precisely happened. Ben Stokes declaring the innings, but before that, the Pakistan innings received a bigger pep. Definitely, they did a good job, especially Aga Salman coming up with his 50. 53 of 67 balls, 53 with 7 fours and 1 6. But then Harris Crawford out for 12, Zaid Mahmood for 17. But what it did is that Pakistan saw to it, they whittled the lead down by making 579 in reply to a mammoth total of 657 by the Englishmen. So that was a good thing. So the lead was not even the lead was not even 100 runs. So that was a good thing done by Pakistan initially in the morning. And an unlikeliest of bowlers, Will Jacks, is normally known as a batsman, but he's a part-time off spinner. But what a debut, a dream debut for Will Jacks. Amidst all the plundering of runs that was going on, he picked up a maiden 5-wicket bag in his first Test match itself. 40.3 overs, 5 maidens, 161 runs, and 6 wickets in the bag for Will Jacks, the right arm offie. And England, as I said, it was absolutely expected that the Bass ball cricket was back into action with England. Ben Stokes declaring the innings closed as 264 for 7 declared. It was thanks in the main to Zach Crawley at the top of the order, making 50 of 48 balls, 7 fours. But the man who really enabled the declaration was Harry Brew, once again coming in, wielding the willow as if he was wielding an axe. 87 of 65. He axed the Pakistan bowlers. 87 of 65 deliveries, 11 fours and 3 sixes embedded into it. And Joe Root making an aggressive 73 of 69, 6 boundaries in that, and Zach Crawley. Other than that, Duckett was out for naught. Pope made 15. Ben Stokes was out for naught as well. Will Jacks clobbering 24 of 13, 3 sixes and 1 boundary, 264 for 7 declared, setting the Pakistanis a total of 343 runs to win. The wicket takers, Naseem Shah, Muhammad Ali, Zaid Mahmood, 2 wickets, and Aga Salman, 1. And look at the bowling. I mean, look at the way the Pakistani bowlers were treated. Naseem Shah, 9.5 overs, no maiden, 2 for 66. Muhammad Ali, 10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 64. Zahid Mahmood, 11 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 84. Aga Salman, 5 overs, cost him 47 runs. And Pakistan chasing 343 runs for victory. They were 80 for 2 at close of play on the fourth day of the first test against England. The wicket takers were Ollie Robinson picking up the wicket of Abdullah Shafiq, forcing him into the hook shot with a short delivery. He was gone for 6 with 1 boundary. And Azhar Ali was hit on the index finger by Ollie Robinson. A very cruel blow at that. Azhar Ali had to retire hurt for not, but he's still there in the tank for Pakistan. So that is a good thing for them. But then the big wicket fell when the big fish Babar Azam, the Pakistan captain, just before close of play, was sent back to the pavilion by Ben Stokes. Now this is another short delivery, which Babar, Babar was forced to fend on the back foot with close of play. The close of play was just nearby, and probably that's the reason I think Babar did not play the hook shot. I wouldn't say the close of play was very near, but Babar decided to fend at it as the ball lifted on him, and Pope had actually taken the catch. And there was a real silence at the Rawalpindi cricket ground. And finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, Imam ul Haq was not out on 40. A bit of counter punching from the Pakistanis towards the end of the day. Saud Shakil was not out 24 with 5 boundaries. And now, as I said, the final day is set up in a brilliant manner. 263 runs still to get for Pakistan to win the match. 8 wickets in the bag. And for England, it is a matter of taking those 8 wickets. And I'm sure it could also be a draw. You never know. Azhar Ali is still there. If at all, they can keep Azhar Ali in the locker and probably after 2 wickets, because Azhar Ali is someone who can really, really grind the bowling. So if Azhar Ali can be there, and Pakistan can try to go for quick runs, we know the England are going to really go absolutely full tilt at the Pakistanis tomorrow. We might see a lot of short stuff being put around the Pakistani batsmen's necks, no doubt about it, with Ben Stokes leading the way. But definitely one is hoping for some very, very interesting cricket coming our way at Rawalpindi on the final day of the first test match. And what a way. I mean, this match, a substandard pitch, Rawalpindi, and Ben Stokes with his declaration has turned it into one of the riveting spectacles on the final day, with 263 runs separating Pakistan and 8 wickets separating England from victory. And we are going to have a brilliant day tomorrow at Rawalpindi. Thanks for your support as usual, dear fans and subscribers. This is your host, Ram, bidding you all goodbye. Thank you.